dense forests, cut by many rivers. By the year 1000 AD, some of them had moved from the Orinoco River to the Caribbean Sea and its islands, where they established a new life. Later, the other people in history, called the Caribs, moved into the Caribbean out of the same areas. The Caribs were not farmers but fishermen and warriors. They, they traded with the Arawaks and sometimes attacked their settlements. And eventually they pushed them out into smaller islands, taking their women as wives and killing or enslaving the men. The Arawak people were ungenerous, while the Caribs were warlike people. The Caribs migrated across Brazil throughout the interior of the Guyana to the north until the coast of Venezuela, and finally the little islands in the Caribbean. In the pursuit of the new island and after Arawaks, the Caribs occupied the north part of Trinidad and the Lesser Antilles, of which St. Vincent is one, and the eastern part of Puerto Rico. On the 13th of July, 1653, the island was struck by a violent hurricane. Moreover, the Negroes from Africa had at this time made their appearance. In 1797, the British permanently exiled the black Caribs from Roatan and the island off the coast of the Spanish Honduras, where the other rebellious blacks were sent. On March 11, 1797, the darker-skinned Garifunas, along with British troops and supplies, were loaded onto 8 ships. One stopped over and made in Jamaica. Upon the arrival in Roatan, over half of the people were sick and frail, left with only fishing rods and lines. Cutting the speeds of several survival appeared almost impossible. Many quickly crossed the mainland, where their jobs were available for the Garifuna men. They became soldiers in the Spanish army, or fishermen in Tejillo. Tejillo. Thank you. The Garinagu women farmed successfully. They soon prospered, having enough to eat for themselves and surplus to sell to the European colonies. Soon after the arrival in Tejillo, Garinagu men began to explore the coast of the British Honduras in one direction and Nicaragua in the other. The women and their children stayed behind in the villages as the men traveled. Today, primarily countries in Central America Today, there are 4 primary countries in which Garinagu live in Central America: Honduras, Belize, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. There may be as many as 200,000 Garinagu in New York City alone, and perhaps over 50,000 across the United States in Washington, Chicago, St. Louis, New Orleans, New Forks, Houston, and Lewis, and Los Angeles. And some may also be in London and England. The Garinagu from Honduras were the first to migrate, followed by the Belizeans, and finally the Guatemalan Garinagu. Those from Nicaragua migrated in fewer numbers. While some Garinagus were employed as educators and in civil settlements, either pursued traditional occupations of farming and fishing. Other Garinagus sell lottery tickets, cold drinks, fruits, and make clothes to sell in the community trends, small stores, or sell cassava and sweet bread. And today we still live in New York City and all around the world, and we should be glad that we are still alive and we were not enslaved. So with that being said, let's be proud to be Garinagus.